Hello, I am Jane Evans. I have two children. One is a sophomore in college right now. She was a graduate of 2020, that fun year. And my son is a senior at Rochester High. I'm embarrassed to say I have never been to a Board of Education meeting before, but there are many people in this room who know who I am. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey because I think it's really important to it's really a little bit different story, but it tops it off with everything else going on right now with Dr. Shaner and the board and everyone who represents Rochester schools. The special education department as well, and more importantly. So I have feared a little bit from this environment that I would be retaliated. I'm a single mom, I'm a realtor in this community, and that's my job, okay? I have two kids going to college, and it's been a fight for me for 13 years with Rochester schools to get my son what he needs. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about my story. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, but some of you people don't even probably realize what goes on. You saw these great presentations today from the staff of what's going on in Rochester schools. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about reality if you have a kid with special needs. It started in preschool that my son was identified with emotional impairment, and he got his first IEP. Then 3 years later, he was diagnosed with Asperger's. Everyone at Hamlin Elementary knows who he is. Everyone at West Middle School knows who he is. And everyone at Rochester High knows who he is. But you talk about inclusive? No way. No inclusivity at all. And you talk about the money I've had to spend to get my son the services he deserved. It's been thousands and thousands of dollars. In third grade, I learned about this IEP was not being followed. So I hired my advocate. I've had an advocate since third grade. And I've used her year after year. And you don't understand how much it costs to have an advocate. But this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. We moved here also for Rochester schools, thinking they were great, right? We didn't know. My son wasn't born yet. Now my daughter, it's a whole different story, right? She's a different child. But my son deserved the services that we were promised. But year after year, I had to fight with the schools and fight with the special education department, send emails with no responses. Fight, and then get the meetings together that we put together and put these other IPs and had the advocate help us get what the services he deserved.
30 seconds.
Middle school, I'm gonna hurry up. Middle school was a complete disaster. Rochester, when we get there, was actually pretty good. And I want to just say this, we have had some wonderful, wonderful teachers and paraprofessionals by his side, and that has just been amazing, okay? But the staff, the administrative staff, for the most part, we've had a couple that have helped us tremendously. But then we get to Rochester High, and then COVID hit, and it took me five times asking for someone to reach out to Colin. Now, he has an IEP, right? He has an IEP. Then I finally filed a state complaint and a civil complaint. And that was my second complaint with Rochester schools.
10 seconds.
That costs a lot more money. Finally got what I needed. But guess what? 34 days, I have 34 days left. But I am a Rochester community member. I'm a realtor that's selling houses in this community, and I want to sell Rochester schools. So I am asking for the resignation also of Dr. Shaner. Number one, because he has never returned my calls either, and he knows who I am. And everything I've heard about the Board of Education going on, I've finally decided to come and speak up. So the good news is my son is graduating, he's going to college, and there's been a lot of other support that has helped, but not without thousands of dollars that I've had to spend. The special education department needs to change, and the top needs to change. That's where it all starts. No one ever calls me back.
Thank you.